Good morning, Al from Boston. Let's kick it off. So I wanted to give you guys an AMC, not AMC, I was going to say AMC update. No, a Ripple update, XRP update. Ripple Swell 2025. It was incredible. It was held in the heart of New York City. Let's break it down. I'll give you the breakdown of the event. And, it was just incredible. I watched it streaming live. And I was pretty mesmerized by what I heard. And it's very rare that I get to say that. I rarely have the cause to say that. Like I said, powerhouse of innovation. It brought together global leaders in blockchain, finance, and fintech. Over 2 days, the conference covered everything from stablecoins to regulatory landscape with a world-class lineup of speakers that included industry heavyweights and the press and everything else. But the real buzz, it was when Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse's closing remarks, where he announced that 2026, the swell of that 2026 will expand just beyond financial institutions, which include developers, investors, researchers, and the entire XRP community. So you're looking at basically Comic-Con for Ripple, that sort of stuff. XRP people start showing up all out of the woodworks. You're going to have a good time. So mark your calendars. It's going to be huge. It's supposed to take place in New York City next fall. So pretty excited about that. I might show up. I don't know. Who knows? But during the event and the developments, the key developments were the following. Ripple introduced the US dollar-backed stablecoin, huge. RLUSD designed to maintain a constant value of the dollar. The move aims to enhance global financial transactions, offering stability and transparency that could revolutionize cross-border payments. Now, Garlinghouse emphasized RLUSD is built with regulatory compliance as the defining feature. That's why they're so successful, bringing with it, huge opportunities for developers, payment providers, exchanges, and others to benefit from the stability and the transparency Ripple is uniquely able to provide. What I really enjoy is this part right here. They have about 1,400 NDAs with companies, financial institutions that use their product, right? Why those NDAs? Well, a couple of years ago, when they tried to show up at Swift's event, this Swift conference, and trying to stir up new business, they wouldn't let them in, right? And that's when somebody realized, we got to get NDAs for everybody because nobody needs to know who we're doing business with, and we can just steal all the customers from underneath them, which is exactly what happened. Swift was asleep at the wheel. Ripple came around, Europe, Asia, wherever, the United States, sold the business, sold the services to the banks with an NDA. So we don't really know who these 1,400 clients actually are. So Swift can't try to, hamstring them or do some kind of harm to everybody because they're doing work with them. They must have known. That's why they did this lawsuit. That's the only reason I would think, because it's more of a strategic move to slow these guys down. But in a major vote of confidence, Ripple secured $500 million in funding, catapulting the valuation to a 40 billion, right? Now, this round was led by, these powerhouses like Fortress Investment Group and, of course, Kenny G at Citadel Securities. But believe it or not, he dropped a chunk of change into this thing. $500 million is a lot. Alongside Pantera Capital, Galaxy Digital. Garlinghouse did note that the decision to accept $500 million in the new common equity reflects the strategic value of deepening relationship with financial partners whose expertise complements Ripple's expanding global suite of products. That in itself is everything. They're getting into securities, they're getting into liquidity issues in the capital markets. They're going to Brad. And that's why this thing is so valuable. The conference featured discussions on tokenization, which is the next big thing, and custody with participants like Citigroup, Franklin Templeton, Fidelity sharing insights. A notable session included Sandy Call from Franklin Templeton to discuss the firm's tokenization efforts, stating, tokenization is not just a trend, it's a transformation in how we think about assets. Traditionally, TradFi and DeFi aren't meshing. They don't work together. Now they're working together in huge ways, especially with tokenization. Garlinghouse also reflected on Swell's origins, mentioning how it started in 2017 as a response to Swift's exclusion, growing from a modest warehouse gathering with speakers like Ben Bernanke into a premier summit, drawing major banks, ETF issuers, and blockchain innovators. Pretty big, in my opinion, pretty huge. If you ask me, Swift shot themselves in the foot, and they're about to lose their ass. That's just, just how I feel about it. I think they're going to lose everything. Short-term implications, the immediate aftermath of Swell 2025 is likely a mix of excitement and volatility, and fresh capital could inject increased trading volume and price movements, which we saw yesterday. With RLUSD in the mix, we might see short-term interest on stablecoin strategies, especially if Ripple navigates ongoing legal battles like the SEC thing. Long-term, it's great. It's really broadening our horizons. Diverse array of stakeholders. Ripple is poised to accelerate XRP adoption, robust ecosystem, and sustained growth, which is huge. The fact that it's valued at 40 billion should be enough. Huge news, you guys. That's really great. But from what I can tell, this 2025 conference wasn't just a conference, it was a statement. They're doubling down on its vision for an interconnected financial future, and it's coming to fruition. And I hope you bought because I think they're going to go IPO fairly soon. And I think everyone's going to make a lot of money, including Kenny G of Citadel. If Citadel's involved, and I think Virtu already holds a bunch of XRP on their books. That's pretty huge, you guys. That's pretty huge. That being said, that's all I got for you guys for today. Keep tuning in, keep sharing, and keep an eye out on Ripple. They're going to do great things. Alpha Boston signing out.